Pokemon Horizons episode 67 just aired, and I wholeheartedly believe it was one of the greatest episodes of the entire Pokemon anime. Like, period, dude. I can't give a long intro because I'm just bursting to review the episode, so let's just dive into it right now. The episode began at the end of Dot's battle in the tournament, with her Quaxwell terastalizing and easily defeating the Darumaka of that Roy doppelganger from a few episodes ago. Not quite sure Dot needed to go that far to defeat Darumaka. Terastalizing seems a little bit over the top, but hey, if it works, it works. One thing I've not seen many people talking about is how awesome this little intro was for Dot. It's a perfect display of her character development, you know? At the beginning of this arc, Dot couldn't even bear the idea of battling in front of a crowd of people. There were 2 episodes completely centered around it. She was too anxious and too nervous to not be Nido-thing, but now she can handle it in front of the whole school and all the Elite Four and the gym leaders, no problem. Good for her, man, that's some awesome character development. Everyone begins calling Liko, Roy, and Dot the saviors of the school because of what they did fighting the explorers in the previous episode, and I really love that, dude. I'm glad they're getting their flowers now, and that means everyone is unbelievably hyped for the battle between Liko and Roy. Even Rhyme shows up and performs a rap she wrote about them, and as always, Rhyme is the coolest character of all time, dude. Liko and Roy promise each other they'll both go all out and give it everything they have, and Rhyme and Nimona are hyping Roy up, while Katie and Anne hype Liko up. It seems both of them have their own supporters, and I really like this, man. It really shows the effects they had on the people around them. And then suddenly Arven shows up to watch the battle too in the most nonchalant, casual way ever. I love seeing Arven here, man. I'm so glad the anime didn't forget about him. Even all the other gym leaders and Elite Four members have arrived too. The battle begins with Fuecoco and Florigato clashing Flamethrower and Magical Leaf, being equally matched. Then they clash Flame Charge and Quick Attack, with Florigato overpowering Fuecoco, but the next time they try, the speed boost that Fuecoco got from the Flame Charge lets him hit Florigato quite hard, but then Florigato lassos Fuecoco with a yo-yo, but Fuecoco begins spinning Florigato around with Flame Charge. He basically turns her into a fidget spinner, bruh. Florigato, however, manages to turn it around by throwing Fuecoco into the air by the yo-yo, and then slamming him into the ground really heavily. Roy switches out Fuecoco for Kilowatt Roll. This was a really great start to the battle, dude. I love the speed boost, the Flame Charge paying off. I love Florigato's yo-yo strategies being as awesome as always. Now we have to pray that Kilowatt Roll doesn't fail miserably and is actually given the battle respect it deserves for once. Liko tries the strategy she used against Grusha's Altaria again, tying Kilowatt Roll's feet with her yo-yo, but Roy knows how to counter it and makes Kilowatt Roll launch up higher, sending Florigato flying into the sky too. Man, I really love how Roy saw that Liko used that strategy against Grusha, and so came up with his own counter to it. It shows how great of a battler he is now. He's really perceptive, you know? Kilowatt Roll tries to slam Florigato down into the ground, but Florigato softens her fall with Magical Leaf. That was a really good strategy from Liko, and almost identical to a strategy that May used with her Combusken back in Advanced Generation. Nice little callback, dude. All the Elite Four members are complimenting how far Liko and Roy have grown, which is really sweet, man. Kilowatt Roll begins dodging Florigato's Magical Leaf in the sky, and then geniusly, while doing this, Kilowatt Roll begins using the wind to his advantage by activating his Wind Power ability. Basically, when Kilowatt Roll feels the wind on his wings, it boosts the power of his next electrical move, so Kilowatt Roll smashes into Florigato really hard with Spark. Florigato is hit really hard and it even gives her the paralysis effect too, so Liko quickly switches out Florigato for Hattrem. Dude, I love that Roy was smart enough to activate Kilowatt Roll's ability and use it to his advantage. Such a cool moment that seems to have gone over a lot of people's heads. Hattrem stops Kilowatt Roll mid-air with Confusion, but Kilowatt Roll quickly breaks free with Uproar. Hattrem tries Confusion again, but she's just not strong enough because Kilowatt Roll overpowers it with Spark, electrocuting Hattrem really hard. But then, just before Kilowatt Roll knocks Hattrem out with another Spark, it's revealed that Hattrem's ability is Healer, because Hattrem connects to Florigato's Pokeball and heals her paralysis, before being knocked out by Kilowatt Roll. Okay, so I've seen a lot of people kind of criticising Hattrem's performance in this battle online, and I do totally understand, Hattrem didn't really do too good. She definitely could have done better, you know? But learning about her ability Healer, and Hattrem using it to heal Florigato and prepare her for the rest of the battle, that's really awesome, man, and it really makes up for it in my opinion. Very fitting for the role that was set up for her as the healer of the team. So Liko then sends out Florigato again. Florigato accidentally baits Kilowatt Roll with her yo-yo, making Kilowatt Roll drop its guard, and then Florigato seizes the moment by doing a surprise attack scratch and hitting Kilowatt Roll hard, knocking it out. So Roy switches to Fuecoco, and Liko and Florigato use what happened there to come up with an idea to convert Scratch into a new move. But before we continue with the battle, let me just say, God bless the writers of Pokemon Horizons for actually letting Kilowattrel pop off here. This was Kilowattrel's best battle ever, dude. Not only did it do big damage to Florigato and paralyze her too, but it also defeated Hatterem. Kilowattrel was such a fantastic battler here, and I'm living for it, dude. So the final showdown is Fuecoco versus Florigato, and this is where the fun begins, folks. Florigato once again baits her opponent with her yo-yo, but then surprise attacks Fuecoco while it's distracted with a brand new Sucker Punch attack. So for those who don't know, Sucker Punch in Japanese translates to surprise attack. So Liko realized that she could use Florigato's yo-yo to bait her opponent and then surprise attack them because of how she did it with Kilowattrel. So now Liko replicated it against Fuecoco but converted her Scratch attack into a Sucker Punch. Quite literally a surprise attack move. That's so incredibly smart and such a unique way to learn a new move, man. Seriously, some great writing. I don't think we've ever seen that done before in the anime. While they continue battling, Liko and Roy begin reminiscing on their first ever battle, and on all of their experiences together, how they've grown stronger together and come so far together. And this is so sweet, dude. They've really come a long way since the beginning, man. I kinda feel like a proud parent, you know? While they're reminiscing, the battle continues, with the two of them clashing more and more moves, and Fuecoco learning how to counter Sucker Punch, and Liko and Roy says they've always been together from the very beginning. They've seen each other's growth all this time, and then as their Pokemon clash as hard as they can, Liko and Roy both confess out loud that if they're together, that gives them the power to reach further than ever. At this point, they're both screaming and giving it everything they have, overwhelmed with passion and emotion, and they're even both sweating and everything, dude. I've never seen two trainers giving so much to a battle. You can really see just how important this is for them both, and it's so beautiful, man. This entire clash, this entire scene was just so perfect, dude. You could really feel the emotion and the passion and the energy bursting out of the screen. And then, in the peak of the passion, in the peak of all of this, Roy and Fuecoco begin singing out loud and bouncing around to the beat like they did versus Rhyme. Like seriously, this is their best musical moment ever. They're giving it everything they have. And dude, if I could live in a moment of the Pokemon anime forever, it would absolutely be this moment. This was seriously perfect. Roy and Fuecoco are singing and dancing, Rhyme begins singing and rapping along, everyone in the crowd is cheering and jumping up and down, Liko and Florigato are getting into the rhythm too, all of their friends, their rivals are singing along, the Elite Four, the gym leaders, they're dancing to the beat, they're getting into it, even Arven and Penny are smiling joyfully, and seeing those two smiling like that after everything they went through in the games really healed my heart, dude. This entire moment, this entire sequence was everything. Possibly the greatest moment of Pokemon Horizons ever. One of the best moments in the whole anime, and I'm not even exaggerating, dude. Then Fuecoco is so overwhelmed with happiness and joy and pride because everyone's in the moment with him, everyone's enjoying the song. So Fuecoco is overwhelmed with emotion and launches up into the air, glowing blue. The time has finally come, baby! Roy is utterly awestruck as Fuecoco evolves into Crocalor at long last. And dude, I'm not even kidding when I say this was my favourite evolution moment in the entire Pokemon anime. This was just perfection in every single conceivable way. The way that everything came together and tied into this moment, from Roy and Fuecoco meeting by singing, to their character development with Rhyme, to all of their friends and rivals and idols being here, to Fuecoco evolving out of sheer joy of everyone loving his song. This was just unbelievably phenomenal. Unbelievably perfect, man. The smile on my face is insane right now. And even after evolving, Crocalor still has his funny, goofy personality from Fuecoco too. It suits him so much, and I love this little, kind of big guy just as much as I loved Fuecoco. Roy is so overwhelmed with happiness, and Liko and Florigato declare they'll give it everything they have. Both Liko and Roy terastalize their Pokemon, and man, the animation here is feeling very Ash vs Leon. It's so beautiful and so smooth. You can just feel the energy, you know? Terra Florigato and Terra Crocalor clash their Magical Leaf and Flamethrower, with Crocalor managing to overpower Florigato, but Florigato dodges it and then uses Quick Attack, and Crocalor gives it everything he has and counters with Flame Charge. A huge explosion results in Florigato falling to the ground unconscious while Crocalor stands tall. He stands tall because he knows he's a winner, baby! Crocalor and Roy are victorious and beat Liko and Florigato. They're so happy and they jump in the air hugging each other tightly, and it's just so amazing, dude. Liko and Florigato comfort each other too, and then Liko and Roy shake hands, incredibly proud of each other, but before we continue with the episode, let me just say that this was genuinely one of the best battles in the entire anime. I wholeheartedly believe that. The amount of character, story, deep-rooted emotion, growth, all packed into this battle, unfathomable, man. I'll never be able to find the words to tell you guys how perfect this was. Everything about it, from the animation, the strategies, the music, the characters, the vibes, all of it was just peak Pokemon. Dude, we are so lucky to get a series like Pokemon Horizons. I know a lot of people really wanted Liko to win here, but I think it makes a lot more sense that Roy wins here, you know? I'm really happy he did. Roy and Crocalor were riding a high to a new extreme, dude. It would have been really tragic and anticlimactic if they lost after all of that momentum and hype and evolution stuff. I have a lot to say about Liko losing too, especially regarding the negative reactions to it, but I'll say that towards the end of the review. Later on, Anne tells Liko that she's going back to Kanto, but they'll battle again in the future. And man, I really hope this isn't the last we see of Anne, because it was such a pleasure having her back in this arc. She's awesome. Then Nemona and Rhyme and Hassel and Brassius are congratulating Roy and Crocalor, while Larry and Iono and Poppy congratulate Dot, and Rika and Geeta and Grusha and Katie congratulate Liko. Geeta even says that Liko should aim for the Paldea Pokemon League, but I don't think that'll happen anytime soon, realistically. I really love seeing all of these characters from the games that Liko, Roy and Dot have gotten to know and bonded with and battled with throughout this story arc, and seeing how they're now forever and always Liko, Roy and Dot's biggest supporters. It's really sweet and such a testament to how special Liko, Roy and Dot are. They really did have an effect on all of them, you know? Penny also thanks Dot for her help and confesses that she knows Dot is Nidothing, and that's a really funny little addition to this episode, dude. I feel like we haven't really thought about Nidothing in a while, so it's nice to see the writers are still remembering. That evening, Liko, Roy and Dot and their Pokemon leave the academy in such a beautifully animated sunset. They've completed their Terastal training course, and they're ready to take on whatever comes at them in the future. So proud of them, dude. We also see Coral and Sidian eating sandwiches together, showing their bonding closer too, and they both have Terastal orbs. And then the episode ends, the story arc ends, with Spinel and Agate learning more about Terapagos through the data that Agate stole, and they reveal they're keeping all this data and all of their plans secret from every other explorer. Dude, they're really setting up Spinel and Agate betraying Gibeon, I feel like. And that's where the episode ended. I feel like I spoke a lot throughout my review already, so I won't talk for too much longer. And hey, even if I wanted to, dude, I couldn't, because I can't even begin to put into words how perfect this episode was. Anything I say will never do it justice. It was seriously incredible. The battle between Liko and Roy was everything I ever dreamed of, and Crocalor is my child now, bruh. I'm being serious. I've adopted him. And I love how he still feels like Fuecoco now, even though he evolved. I'm not too big of a fan of when Pokemon completely change their personality after evolution. I want them to feel like the same person, you know? The same character. The main thing I want to talk about is how a lot of people are criticizing Liko online because she lost here, since it means she lost almost every important battle in this arc. And look, I do get it, it is kind of annoying for Liko to keep losing, but once upon a time it was Roy that kept losing, dude. For the first two story arcs, Roy lost almost every battle, and he was the one being criticized for it. But losing that many times led Roy to greatness, you know? You've just got to be patient and wait for the turn to come. This story arc is leading Liko to greatness, and she's gonna win a lot more battles in the future too. And also, it's not all about winning and losing, you know? Liko lost a lot of battles here, yeah, but because of those losses, she developed so greatly, man. She became such a stronger and more skilled trainer, a way more mature person. It's really not winning or losing that matters, dude, it's what you learn from it. And Liko learned so much. Losing here doesn't mean she's weak or worse than Roy, it just means Roy came out on top this one time, you know? So please don't hate on Liko for this, you know? She's really awesome, man. And honestly, disregarding her so much just because she lost a lot of battles in this story arc, I'm not gonna lie, doing that kinda feels like you might have completely missed the entire point of the arc, you know? To end this review, the final episode of the Terastal debut arc, let me share what I tweeted yesterday. I can't believe we just witnessed a perfect story arc. I can't think of many other times this has ever happened in the Pokemon anime, but this was genuinely flawless from start to finish. Bravo to everyone who worked on this season, you should all be very proud. Clap, clap, clap. And I genuinely mean all of that, man. This story arc this season has been incredible from beginning to end. Terastal debut has gotten so many fans on board with its amazing battles, its awesome character development, its fantastic portrayal of all of the Scarlet and Violet characters. What a phenomenal arc, man. We're so lucky to have witnessed it. And this episode was such a heartfelt, action-packed conclusion. I'm gonna praise this episode all day long and all night long too. Let me know your thoughts on Pokemon Horizons episode 67 below. How much did you love it, and are you excited for the next story arc? Be sure to join our Discord server if you haven't already, the link's in the description. We're currently hosting a Rising Voltacklers vs Explorers event in there, where you choose your team and pick a side and everything, and it's a lot of fun, dude. You should come join. Finally, be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. We're really close to 130,000 subscribers, dude, and that's so exciting. I'd really appreciate your help to get us there. Thank you all so much for watching, and best wishes until we meet again!